everyone, Amanda here. You're watching Booked with Amanda, and I'm here to talk books with you. I'm back today with my June TBR. I do have about 10 books, so let's just get into it. First, I'm hoping to read The Hypnotist Love Story by Leanne Moriarty. Basically, this follows a woman who is looking for a long-term relationship. She's actually a hypnotherapist, and she meets a guy. He seems to be what she's looking for. He actually has his ex-girlfriend stalking him, and she thinks that it's intriguing that she would meet a guy and they are starting to fall for each other, and he's such a catch that someone's stalking him. Then she kind of starts to think, well, maybe I should meet this woman. What she doesn't realize is that I guess she already has. So it's kind of a mystery. I guess we're going to be figuring out who the stalker is and how she knows. What's her name? Ellen is the protagonist. So I loved Big Little Lies. I'm excited to get into this one. I'm hoping that the rating is similar. I couldn't put down Big Little Lies. I thought it was amazing. So here's hoping this is at least somewhat as good. But I think it'll be a good summer read, a kind of a beach read, I guess. Next we have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. As you know, I want to reread the series this year. I already have 2 down, so a third one to go. This follows Harry and his 3rd year of Hogwarts, and chaos ensues. I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't read Harry Potter, you should definitely pick up the series. It's nice, easy reads. It is technically, I guess, what a juvenile reads, so definitely check out the series if you haven't already. Next, I am doing it finally because I'm basically tired of talking about it. I just want to get it done. Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So basically this follows, it's in the future, there's a dystopian or utopian kind of world, and basically no one can die anymore unless you are gleaned by what they call scythes. So these guys have all the control for who lives and dies on the planet. And there's these 2 teenagers, I guess, and they are apprenticing to become scythes. I don't think they necessarily want to. I think they're chosen. Anyway, I don't know a crazy amount about this. I see it everywhere. I'm drawn to it like a magnet, so I'm gonna get it done this month, hopefully. I haven't been in the greatest of reading moods the last few weeks, so let's just cross our fingers on that. Next, we have Call the Midwife, Volume 3, and that is Farewell to the East End. I'm currently in the middle of reading Book 2, Volume 2, and that is The Shadows of the Workhouse. So basically, this is the last installment in this nonfiction trilogy following Jennifer Worth. That's her character on the show called Midwife. And just her experiences becoming a midwife in the poor East End of London. And this one is when she does actually finally leave the profession of midwifery, and she becomes a nurse for taking care of oncology patients. So this kind of finishes her little segment in the East End of London in the 1950s. I love the show. I've read the first one, work on the second one, so I'm hoping just to get that trilogy finished, because I don't know why, but like London in the 50s, coming back from the war, and just, you know, dealing with these poor Londoners, just is pulling me in. It just intrigues me, so I'm excited for that one. Last but not least, out of my physical books, we have The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. This is also for my Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, and basically this follows, I think, 2 timelines. These women end up coming to this place that's advertising rental for them. They are told that they can't kind of have any personal items, no books, throw pillows, no decorating, no nothing. Something bad happens to the first one, and then the second woman is kind of trying to figure out what's going on and what happened, and then, you know, she's kind of following a similar path to what this first woman had followed, and then basically I guess she's trying to prevent something bad from happening to herself. I don't know a lot about it because I believe this is kind of like a thriller, domestic thriller or something like that. So I'd rather not know because I do happen to read a lot of them. So unfortunately, the more I know about a book before going into it, the more I can guess the ending, which I don't like to do. I want to be surprised. Surprise me, you know? Then I have 3 books I'm waiting for from my library that have either come in or are coming in this month. The first one is Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I think I read this in high school, but not to age me, that was like a long time ago. That's over 15 years ago. So I'm kind of interested to read it again when I don't have to read it, just to kind of see, because I don't remember a lot about it. I think I kind of flew through it and then answered the questions, wrote the essay, blah, blah, blah. So I'm interested to read that one again. Then I'm reading What If by Randall Munroe. And this is just kind of a question book, a scientific book, I guess, just asking questions like, what if this, what if that, what if this? And then he kind of comes up with explanations for everything, which makes it sound kind of dull maybe, but I heard it's very good. I have been waiting for it for a while, so I'm excited that that's coming in. It's supposed to be coming in any day now, so yay. Next, last but not least, for my TBR, I have Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. And basically, I don't know anything about this book, really, at all. But that's okay. That's how I want it. I see that lots of booktubers have talked about this and read this. Most recently, I believe it was last month, Cody from Cody's Book Corner read this. I'll link her channel below for you if you want to check it out. And like, she was crying and just, I think it kind of follows a boy who is maybe bullied and then makes friends with a mouse. I don't really know, but honestly, every person that I've seen that has read this book has loved it. I looked online at my public library and there is an e-copy available, and that's coming in for me the next couple weeks, so I'm gonna check it out. Why not? You know, I feel like the one problem with BookTube is that you watch these videos and people recommend these books and talk about these books and then, you know, describe the synopsis, and then they read them and then they kind of go over what they liked and they didn't like, and then you are left with no surprise almost, if that makes sense. You're sitting there and you know everything about this book basically, so then you pick it up and there's just no mystery to it, even if it's not a mystery book, right? If you're reading a book, like, you want to be surprised by things sometimes. So that's kind of the situation. I kind of glossed over the descriptions of this book. I just want to read it. I just want to read it. I know it's good as per the opinions of booktubers I trust. So I'm gonna go in and just read it. Why not, right? That sounds like a good plan, I think. Anyway, we are done for today's TBR. That's for June. I believe there's about 10 books on there. Currently, I am reading, as I mentioned, Call of the Midwife Volume 2, Shadows of the Workhouse. And I am also reading Flash Forward by Robert J. Sawyer. Flash Forward is, it takes place in the future, which is now our past, because it is quite an old book, which is now our past. And then for 2 minutes, everybody in the world blacks out and has kind of a glimpse into the future, 21 years in the future. And so I think they're kind of trying to figure out what happened, why the planet experienced this, is this future concrete? Basically, I picked it up because there was a show years ago. I guess not that, when was it? Maybe like 2011 or something. I mean, that's a long time ago, I guess. But anyway, it ended up, it was a show based on this premise, but it was very loosely based, as I am finding out. And they canceled it. Like, they didn't finish the storyline. And that pissed me off so much. So now I'm like, wait a second. I can just read the book and find out why this happened. Wow. What a shocker. Anyway, so I'm reading that. So I'm working on 2 books right now. I did put aside Game of Thrones because I got upset. I am not one of those people that is going to sit there and make, you know, HBO redo this season. Like, they made their choices, they wrote their story, that's their right, that's their show. I just, like, the second half of the final episode just, I don't know, pissed me off. So anyway, I'm not in the mood to read Game of Thrones anymore. I'm gonna just put those aside for a little while and just work on some other things. But anyway, that's where I'm sitting now with my reading. Please let me know if you've read any of these books because I would love to hear from you. And until next time, I will talk to you later.